Don't scroll, listen carefully. The night air feels different tonight. It isn't cold, yet you shiver. A wind passes through your chest, soft and whispering, carrying something you can't name, a sacred calm wrapped in sorrow. You feel the faint vibration of wings, vast and gentle, somewhere beyond the veil of your sight. And then, from that unseen horizon, a subtle glow begins to bloom, emerald, radiant, breathing softly like the heartbeat of heaven itself. You don't move. You only listen. There's a voice in the silence, smooth as water, clear as light. It doesn't thunder, it hums through your bones. Release, it says, for your heart is still chained to what was never meant to stay. Your throat tightens. You know this voice, even though you've never heard it before. It is the voice of Archangel Raphael, the healer of heaven, the one who mends the unseen fractures of souls, the one who walks through the ruins of broken hearts and turns ashes into wings. Your breath deepens. The air thickens with emerald light, painting your skin with a glow that feels both tender and fierce. You realize this is not just a message, it's a visitation. You're being called, not punished. You're being reminded that the wound you carry has become your identity, and the angels can no longer heal what you keep reopening with memory. You feel Raphael's presence around you, not distant, not untouchable. The wind bends closer. The ground hums under your feet. You can almost feel a hand, warm and bright, pressing over your heart, not to silence it, but to awaken it. You hear Raphael whisper, "Child of the light, heaven has watched you grieve for too long." Every night you replay the moment of loss. Every dawn, you resurrect it again. This is not mourning, this is imprisonment. Tears form, not from pain, but from realization. You thought you were surviving by remembering, but you were slowly dying from it. You thought keeping their memory alive meant love, but heaven sees it as rebellion against divine timing, because every soul that stays chained to the past blocks the miracles waiting in the present. Raphael's emerald aura brightens. It dances across the dark like 1,000 soft flames. The whisper continues, healing is not forgetting. It is releasing. You cannot rise while you kneel before yesterday's ghosts. The words pierce you. Every image of that person, their voice, their smile, their absence, flashes in front of you like mirrors. You feel the ache of unspoken words, the echo of things that could have been. And for the first time, you realize heaven isn't punishing you for breaking, it's punishing you for refusing to heal. Because love, no matter how pure, becomes poison when it defies divine order. Raphael's hand moves closer to your chest again. A pulse of emerald light spreads through your ribs. It feels like fire and peace at once. You gasp, and in that breath, you feel something ancient move, the weight of regret beginning to crack. You want to let go, but you don't know how. That's when Raphael whispers again, softer this time, say it aloud, not for them, but for yourself. Your lips tremble. I release, you whisper, your voice fragile like glass. I release what I cannot carry anymore. The air responds, glowing, swirling, shimmering, as if heaven itself acknowledges your surrender. Then comes the invitation, glowing through Raphael's voice. Subscribe only if you feel drawn to touch the emerald light of heaven, to walk under the wings of healing angels, and to seek truths that can restore your soul. Type Amen in the comments, for the light you claim today will follow you beyond this screen. You close your eyes. A calm warmth spreads through your palms, your chest, your spine. The sound of distant chimes fills your ears, no melody, just peace shaped into sound. The wind shifts. You sense Raphael's wings unfold, not as wings of feathers, but of energy, massive and endless, wrapping around your broken self like the sky embracing the sea. You are still. The emerald glow deepens. Raphael's whisper becomes a steady pulse inside your heart, you are not broken. You are being rewritten. For a moment, you see it, flashes of your own future, glowing through the fog of grief. You standing taller. You smiling again. You walking beneath sunlight that doesn't sting anymore. The angels don't show you every detail, only enough to remind you that life is still waiting. And then comes a soft vibration, almost imperceptible, a reminder of the story that began long before your pain. In the book of Tobit, Raphael was sent to heal the blindness of Tobias's father. He walked disguised as a friend, guiding Tobias through trials and heartbreaks, until sight was restored, both physical and spiritual. That same divine healer stands before you now, cloaked not in human form but in emerald light, whispering, "Your blindness is of the heart. Let me open it." The air hums with sacred tension. You can almost hear unseen bells ringing across dimensions. The punishment is not wrath, it is a mirror. Every night you suffer is heaven's echo of your own resistance to healing. Raphael does not come to scare you. He comes to remind you that your suffering is the prayer you never stopped sending. And tonight, that prayer has been answered. The emerald light expands one last time before dimming into your heart. It doesn't vanish, it hides within you, waiting for your next choice. You feel lighter, but not yet free. You've only opened the first door. Raphael's voice fades into the wind with a final whisper. Walk carefully, for the next step will reveal what you fear most, the memory you refuse to release. The air turns still again. The silence is sacred. You're left standing between what was and what will be, trembling, but ready. The room grows quiet again. The emerald glow that once surrounded you now pulses faintly inside your chest, not gone, just subdued, waiting. The silence feels heavy, almost intelligent, as though it's watching you. You sense Raphael's presence still, distant but near enough to hear your unspoken thoughts. You try to breathe, but each inhale feels like walking through a museum of memories, every corner of your heart still haunted by their shadow. You can't escape it. Even when you close your eyes, their voice drips through your mind like a memory refusing to dissolve. You still remember the way they laughed when life was easy, the way the air smelled the last time they left, the silence that followed like a ghost too polite to knock. Raphael's voice cuts through the stillness, calm but firm, "This is what binds you. You have mistaken memory for devotion." Your pulse stutters. He's right. You've spent nights clutching at the fragments, believing that if you just replayed the moments enough times, maybe heaven would undo them, maybe time would collapse and bring them back. But heaven doesn't bend for nostalgia, it only bends for truth. Raphael speaks again, his tone like the sound of the tide. Every thought you send backward is energy withdrawn from your destiny. Every time you mourn what's gone, you delay what's coming. You lower your head. The air trembles as though your realization has weight. You thought your pain was sacred, that keeping their memory alive was proof of loyalty. But now you see, the angels have been watching how your devotion became defiance. You loved so fiercely that you began to worship the wound instead of the lesson. And heaven, in its strange mercy, began to answer your pain with silence. You whisper, "Why does it still hurt? Even when I pray, even when I try to forget?" The reply comes soft, glowing through the emerald mist, "Because you pray to remember, not to release. You pray for relief while clutching the thorn. You speak of healing but refuse to close the door. The heart cannot serve two timelines, the past and the divine now." You look around, there's no room, no ceiling, only a vast horizon of dim emerald clouds. You're standing in the echo of your own soul. The ground ripples under your feet, a reflection of your memories trying to hold form, the laughter, the betrayal, the promises whispered under stars. You realize you've built a home out of heartbreak, and heaven cannot enter where grief is worshipped. The wind shifts again. You hear faint voices, your own thoughts echoing as whispers. What if they were the one? What if I let go and they forget me forever? The fear is real, raw, almost human in its sound. Raphael's light intensifies, flickering brighter than before. "They already forgot you in the way that matters," he whispers. "But heaven remembers. Love that was divine leaves marks that never die, yet you cannot return to it until you stop living as its prisoner." You drop to your knees. Tears fall silently, glowing faint green in the divine light. The air hums louder, responding to your surrender. Each tear becomes a mirror showing you flashes of your past, the laughter, the betrayal, the longing. But in every mirror, you see Raphael. Standing behind you, his hand on your shoulder, his face calm, eyes deep pools of celestial emerald fire. Then he speaks again, the punishment is not in what they did to you. It's in what you do to yourself after they're gone. You've become the keeper of your own chains. The words strike deep. You realize you've been waiting for heaven to fix what you refused to release. You wanted a miracle while guarding the cage. The air trembles again, and for a fleeting second, you hear distant singing, faint, angelic, like a choir made of light. Raphael continues, the human heart is powerful. It can call angels or invite shadows. When you keep mourning what heaven has removed, you call the darkness of delay, not the light of destiny. You look up. The emerald horizon begins to part, revealing streaks of gold far away. You can see faint shapes moving, feathers of light, souls ascending, healing. You realize that's where you're supposed to be, but something still anchors you here. A final memory, the one you never faced, begins to surface. You remember the last look in their eyes before everything ended. The unfinished sentence. The promise broken not by betrayal, but by destiny. You thought you could outlove fate, but heaven writes endings that hearts can't edit. Raphael steps closer now. His aura flares brighter, almost blinding. You feel warmth, not pain. Do you know why the angels have held back your blessings? He asks. You shake your head. Because your hands have been full of ghosts. The divine cannot pour new miracles into a vessel that refuses to be emptied. The truth cuts deep. You breathe in sharply as Raphael's emerald aura starts to spiral around you. The memories rise like dust in sunlight, trembling, glowing, ready to be released. But before they fade, Raphael whispers one more truth: the memory doesn't die when you let go. It transforms. It stops being a wound and becomes wisdom. The light expands again, wrapping you completely. For a second, you see the story of Tobias again, the one Raphael healed centuries ago. Tobias carried the memory of his father's blindness, the sorrow of generations. Yet it was through Raphael's guidance that vision returned, not just to the eyes, but to the spirit. And so the same energy flows through you now. The light that healed ancient families now pulses through your veins, rewriting your story in silence. You exhale. The air around you feels clean. The emerald glow dims but leaves a shimmer on your skin, like divine dust. You whisper, I understand now. Raphael replies gently, you're beginning to. But healing requires truth, and truth requires surrender. Are you ready to face the weight of your own silence? The question lingers. You close your eyes again, and the wind stills. For the first time in a long while, the memory doesn't feel like a dagger, it feels like a lesson. But you know the hardest part hasn't arrived yet. Because what comes next is judgment. The air grows heavier now, like the weight of eternity pressing against your shoulders. The emerald light that once comforted you begins to shift, deepening into a darker, richer hue, like the green of an ancient forest just before a storm. You feel Raphael's presence intensify, it is no longer gentle. It is immense, divine, unyielding. You sense something sacred forming around you, a cord of silence, invisible but undeniable. The angelic realm is watching. You try to speak, but the air holds your words. Your thoughts echo inside your skull. And then Raphael's voice breaks through, not soft this time, but vast, commanding, echoing from every direction at once. The heart you carry has become a vessel of rebellion. You were given pain to awaken, not to remain broken. Your breath stumbles. You feel the truth strike through you like thunder. It's not accusation, it's revelation. Heaven is not angry at your sorrow, heaven is mourning what you've become under it. You sense Raphael circling you now, his wings creating soundless gusts that ripple through your soul. The emerald light bends with every motion, shaping into forms that almost resemble eyes, countless eyes of light staring through every layer of your being. You have cried oceans, Raphael says. But none of your tears were prayers. They were chains. Do you know how many miracles have been delayed because you refuse to let go of one human memory? Your heart aches. You want to answer, to defend yourself, to say you didn't know. But you realize you did. You knew that holding on hurt you, yet you called it love. You wore grief like a crown, believing the angels admired your loyalty, while they were actually waiting for your surrender. Raphael's voice softens, but the power remains. Heaven is just, child of light. The realm of purity cannot bless what defies divine law. You've prayed for healing while keeping the wound open. You've begged for light while sleeping in the shadow. That is your punishment, not given by heaven, but chosen by your will. The truth cuts deeper than any pain you've ever known. You fall to your knees again, your palms glowing faintly against the emerald-lit ground. The air hums with divine judgment, not anger, but holy gravity. Raphael stands before you now, tall and radiant, wings spread like an endless horizon. His eyes are galaxies of green fire, ancient and infinite. You whisper, trembling, then why haven't you left me? If I've broken the law of heaven, why stay? A silence. Then Raphael steps closer, light cascading around him like waterfalls. Because mercy is older than judgment. My presence is not your punishment. It is your final invitation. The words echo through your bones. You realize that heaven's punishment isn't exile, it's reflection. Every pain you've endured was heaven's way of showing you what you refused to release. The more you resisted healing, the louder the echoes became. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every quiet emptiness, all were Raphael's whispers disguised as pain, pleading for you to open the gate from within. He kneels before you, his immense wings folding gently behind him. The emerald light pulses brighter, enveloping both of you in a cocoon of divine gravity. Do you know what happens when a soul refuses to heal? He asks. You stay silent. The angels stop singing your name in the frequency of destiny. They wait. They mourn. They do not abandon you, but heaven stands still until you do your part. You feel your heart throb painfully. The truth is unbearable, that heaven, in its mercy, has paused its blessings, waiting for your surrender. Raphael lifts a hand toward your face. His touch feels like light turned into silk. The moment his fingers graze your cheek, visions flood your mind, every heartbreak, every moment you cursed the sky, every time you said, "Why me?" without realizing that your resistance was the answer. Raphael speaks again, slower now, each word carrying the weight of eternity. The divine law of healing is balance. You must not curse what was given to grow you. What you call loss, heaven calls transformation. What you call betrayal, heaven calls redirection. A faint vibration surrounds you, a sound like glass humming under a choir of distant angels. You see images of souls across time, ancient men and women, kneeling in prayer, clutching their hearts, their pain turning into light. Raphael continues, you are part of that lineage now. Just as Tobias was guided through blindness to see truth, you are being guided through heartbreak to see heaven's reflection. You see it vividly, Tobias walking with Raphael disguised as a man, crossing dangerous rivers filled with shadows. That story was never just about physical sight. It was about faith, about trusting divine timing even when you walk blind. And now you realize, that is your punishment, to walk blind through grief until you learn to trust again. Your voice cracks. What if I fail again? What if I can't release it? Raphael's wings flare brighter, bathing you in emerald brilliance. Then you will suffer again, not because heaven desires it, but because heaven repeats every lesson until your soul remembers. The air trembles. You feel warmth in your chest, followed by a piercing ache, not pain, but purification. The angelic cord around you fades slowly, the countless eyes dissolving into streams of light that rise into the air and vanish into the unseen heavens. You are left kneeling in a circle of glowing emerald dust, Raphael still before you, calm, unmovable. He leans close, his voice now a whisper of thunder and mercy. You've been judged, and found worthy of healing. But judgment is only the beginning. Redemption must be chosen. The light pulses one final time, and suddenly everything stills, the air, the sound, even your breath. You feel the verdict of heaven sink into your spirit. You are not condemned. You are being rewritten. The punishment was never about pain, it was about remembering who you were before heartbreak became your language. You lift your head. Raphael stands tall again, his aura softening back into calm emerald radiance. He extends his hand once more. Rise now. You've faced the angels. Now face yourself. You take his hand. The moment you touch, a warmth floods your veins like sunlight pouring into a frozen river. The air ripples, and for a second, you see your reflection in Raphael's eyes, healed, radiant, alive. And you realize the next part of this journey will not be judgment anymore, but transformation. You rise slowly, still feeling the hum of judgment echoing in your chest. The air is no longer heavy. The silence no longer feels like punishment. It feels like possibility. Raphael's hand lingers over your heart, and from that touch radiates a warmth you've never felt before, not the warmth of sunlight, but of spirit, alive and ancient. The emerald aura grows gentle again, softer, breathing in rhythm with your heartbeat. You're no longer surrounded by judgment but by light, the kind of light that heals without burning. Raphael's voice returns, no longer thunder, but wind. Healing does not happen when pain disappears. It begins when you no longer worship your wounds. You close your eyes. The images of your past rise like fog, blurred, distant, yet familiar. Every memory that once haunted you now floats before you, not to torment you, but to be transformed. Raphael moves beside you, his wings spreading wide, stirring the air with slow, powerful grace. Each movement releases waves of emerald energy that ripple through your mind, touching every dark corner of your memory. You see the face that once shattered you. You feel the ache that hollowed your nights. Yet now, there's something different. The pain no longer cuts, it teaches. You begin to see how every heartbreak was a coded message, every silence a divine delay, every closed door an invitation to rise higher. Raphael whispers, the soul learns through contrast. You were shown loss so you could understand divine abundance. You were broken so heaven could enter through the cracks. The air around you flickers with faint glows, fragments of emerald fire forming symbols you can't decipher, yet your spirit understands them. They are the language of healing, not spoken but remembered. You feel it in your chest, a pulse, ancient and divine, awakening within you. Raphael circles you again, his wings brushing the edge of eternity. Every soul must pass through the trial of healing, he says. This is yours. The wind thickens. You're suddenly standing on what feels like glass, a reflective surface beneath your feet. When you look down, you don't see your body, you see memories. Each step forward shows another version of you, the one who cried alone, the one who begged for answers, the one who pretended to be fine. You walk slowly, trembling. With every step, Raphael's voice follows, echoing like scripture, the punishment of heaven is never destruction, it is purification. You cannot receive divine love with a heart full of human residue. The glass beneath you cracks, not in fear, but revelation. From the cracks, light erupts, emerald and gold. It rises in streams around your body, wrapping you in spirals of living color. It's not pain. It's renewal. You feel everything you ever held, resentment, longing, disappointment, being drawn out of you, pulled upward into Raphael's hands. He gathers the energy in his palms, glowing, trembling, and then releases it into the sky, where it explodes into light that rains down like emerald snow. The flakes touch your skin, and each one feels like a whisper, "You're forgiven." Tears roll down your cheeks again, but this time they don't sting. They cleanse. The tears fall onto the glowing glass beneath you, and where they land, new light blooms. You realize this trial isn't about punishment. It's about participation. Heaven can heal you, but only if you allow it. You whisper, "I'm ready." Raphael smiles, his expression both tender and infinite. Then let your pain become your teacher. Let it speak, and then release it. You feel something stir deep inside you, the voice of your own soul, quiet and trembling. It says, "I was never unworthy. I was simply unfinished." The moment you hear it, the entire atmosphere changes. The emerald light brightens to gold, merging heaven's compassion with truth's fire. Raphael lifts his hand again, and the emerald wind swirls around you faster, forming a vortex of light that rises into the heavens. Within that spiral, you see visions of countless souls, some you knew, some you never met, all walking their own paths of healing. You realize you're part of something vast, divine, timeless. Every human heart that breaks becomes a star in Raphael's sky, a reminder that healing is the true worship of life. Then, through the vortex of color, Raphael's voice returns, "Do you remember the story of Tobias? The young man blinded by grief and fear, led by me through danger and darkness? I showed him the fish that carried the cure for his father's blindness, because the healing he sought was already beside him, disguised as something ordinary. You too are surrounded by your cure. Your healing isn't waiting above, it's waiting within." The moment those words settle, you feel something shift, not outside, but inside. A deep, glowing calm spreads through your bones. The pulse in your chest synchronizes with a rhythm you recognize as celestial, the heartbeat of heaven itself. You realize that Raphael's light isn't separate from you. It is you. The ground beneath you shatters completely, but instead of falling, you rise. Your body dissolves into particles of light, floating weightlessly within Raphael's aura. The pain, the memories, the regrets, all scatter like dust. In their place blooms a silence so profound it feels like music. Raphael's final words of this trial echo through you: "Healing is not about forgetting the wound, but remembering who you were before it." You open your eyes. You're no longer standing in judgment. You're standing in grace. The air around you glows with the soft luminescence of dawn. The emerald sky slowly fades into gentle gold, as if the heavens themselves are exhaling after holding you for so long. You take a deep breath, the first that doesn't hurt. You feel lighter, freer, alive. The chains you once mistook for devotion now lie broken at your feet. Raphael watches you silently, his eyes kind and endless. He nods once, approval, acknowledgement, and promise. The trial of healing is complete. What remains now is rebirth. The air is soft again, yet charged with divine electricity. You stand at the edge of something vast and wordless, a silence so deep it feels alive. The emerald glow that once raged around you has quieted into a soft radiance. It no longer burns, it breathes. Raphael stands before you, his wings folding inward, their light dimming to a serene shimmer, like moonlight rippling over still water. You realize, this is not the end. This is rebirth. You take one step forward. The ground beneath you is no longer glass, it's light itself, woven of your healed moments, your forgiven tears. You move gently, every step humming like music beneath your feet. Raphael's voice echoes again, not from the air, but from within your very heartbeat. Every scar you carry has now become scripture. Every sorrow has turned to wisdom. You are not the same one who began this journey. You breathe in, and the breath feels sacred. The scent of rain drifts around you, though no rain falls. The sky above glows emerald gold, and the wind carries faint whispers, the songs of healed souls who walk this path before you. Raphael's light swirls once more, forming a halo around your crown, touching your soul like dawn touches the ocean. He speaks softly, "Do you understand now why heaven allowed the breaking?" You nod slowly. You understand. It wasn't cruelty. It was choreography. Every fall was a step closer to surrender. Every unanswered prayer was a pause, waiting for you to exhale your control. Heaven wasn't punishing you, it was preparing you. You had to lose what you thought was love to find what love truly is, divine alignment. Raphael raises his right hand. From his palm, a sphere of green light emerges, spinning with quiet power. "This is your heart, as heaven sees it now," he says. Unchained. Awake. Capable of creating new worlds. You stare at it. Inside the sphere, you see memories that once tortured you, but they look different now. They shimmer with peace. No ache, no shadow. Just gratitude. You whisper, "So it's over?" Raphael's smile is infinite. It has only begun. Healing never ends, it evolves. You will carry this light into every moment that follows. And when pain visits again, because it always will, you will not fear it. You will bless it, and it will bow before you. A warm gust sweeps across the space. You feel lighter, translucent. The emerald aura now blends into your skin, your soul, your breath. You are no longer standing before the angel. You are standing with him, within the same light. Heaven is no longer something above, it is something inside. Raphael steps back, wings unfolding to their full span. "Look around," he whispers. You turn, and you see it. The place that once mirrored your pain is now alive with light. The reflections of your sorrow have turned into gardens of color, rivers of luminescence, skies of forgiveness. Every memory blooms like a flower reborn from ashes. You smile through tears, and for the first time in forever, the tears taste like freedom. Raphael's voice fills the air again. "This is what divine healing feels like, not escape, but embodiment. You are no longer bound to what broke you. You are bound to what made you divine." The light grows brighter. You feel your heart synchronize with a celestial rhythm, a vibration so steady it feels like eternity itself breathing through you. You realize that this is heaven's heartbeat, and you are part of it now. Raphael's presence begins to fade, but not in absence, in transformation. The emerald light that once surrounded him now flows directly into you. His final words linger like a blessing etched into your soul: "Go now, and heal others by your example." Every time you choose forgiveness over fear, heaven sings your name again. You stand alone, yet never alone. The air still hums with unseen wings. The world feels new, raw, pure. You inhale deeply, your heart calm, your mind silent. The memory that once imprisoned you now kneels before your light. You whisper softly, "I forgive. I release. I am free." A calm rain begins to fall, soft drops of emerald and gold light, dissolving into your skin, your spirit. You close your eyes. You feel the heavens breathing with you. And then, in the stillness of your soul, you hear the final whisper. "Breathe now. Raphael is still here with you." If you felt this message stir something deep inside you, that quiet pulse between pain and peace, then this moment was meant for you. Archangel Raphael guided you here for a reason. He is still watching, still healing, still waiting for you to rise fully into your purpose. Don't let this energy fade when the video ends, let it begin here. Take one small act of faith now, subscribe to this channel so that you never miss the next divine message meant to awaken you. Every video carries light codes of healing, and every word is designed to remind your soul who you really are: forgiven, chosen, radiant, unstoppable. If you felt the emerald presence of Raphael tonight, type Amen in the comments. Let heaven see your name. Let the angels know you're ready. Because the moment you declare it, your timeline begins to shift. And as you move forward, remember this truth: you were never broken. You were being shaped for something greater. Your pain was an initiation. Your healing is your calling. The light within you is the same light that burns in heaven, eternal, unshakable, divine. Close your eyes. Breathe. You are free. You are loved. And Raphael walks beside you still.